Greetings. Hello, y'all. Hello to another episode of Karima's Show and Tell. I am your host, Karima J. Spear. Tonight, y'all, we're going to be discussing Suicide Squad 2 and maybe 1. And also, we're going to talk about Marvel versus DC. On today's show, we have Mr. Charles May, a.k.a. Chocolate Chuck. You there, Chocolate Chuck? Charles, you there? He's somewhere there. Okay.
Word.
And then we have a new heavy with us, Mr. CJ. Also, y'all,
What's up?
with those who love Chico, this is his brother, y'all. So, you know, Chico got a big fan base on this thing. And later on, we should have Anthony coming in, y'all. So anyway, y'all know about the show. Karima Show is where we talk about poetry, politics, ratchetness, relationships, movies, trending topics, and the realities of LA. I'm your host, Karima J. Spear, y'all. Like, if you like what we talking about, we really like what we talking about, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share. Definitely tell somebody, because it's a dope show. It's a very dope show. So on today's show, you know who we got. So you know we're going to get down and dirty. And so we're going to start with the discussion with the Suicide Squad 2. Dope or not? What went wrong, if you think it went wrong? So I guess I'll start. So I saw the movie, and I was entertained, right? Which is basically what the purpose of movies are, right? Don't frown your brow. You know what I'm talking about. It was entertaining, you know, but there was some holes and gaps. I gotta say, it was some holes and gaps. And yeah, so how about y'all? What y'all think about the movie? I got other stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to just lay it on heavy. So Charles, you still there? Because your screen stopped. Hello? Charles? Oh, damn. Okay, so it's gonna fix. I know it's gonna fix. So
All right, you see me on my movie?
No, you frozen.
You see me?
You want to, oh, shit. Hello?
Froze.
You want to log out and come back in? Or, okay, so CJ.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Charles, I can hear you, but you're frozen. Okay, so let me start with CJ then. So, CJ. So,
yes, sir.
So what you thought of Suicide Squad 2?
My eyelids loved the movie.
Your what?
My eyelids loved the movie.
Your eyelids loved the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean?
I fell asleep on it 3 times.
3 times?
I fell asleep, woke up, fell back asleep, woke back up again, and then I realized it was the end of the movie.
Really?
It took me like 3 times to go through see the whole entire movie.
So you saw the movie 3 times?
I tried to see it 3 times.
Okay.
I literally saw it 1 time, but I tried to watch it 3 different times.
You tried to watch 3 different times. But did you finally get the whole story?
I got the whole storyline, but I mean, I'm not gonna say shots fired, but it didn't capture my attention. It didn't capture my imagination. It just blah 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 blah. Like, I already knew what was gonna go on in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even watch the whole movie to tell you what was gonna happen.
Okay.
There was no twists and turns. There was no plot. You know what I mean? I didn't even watch the movie, nor did I look up the movie about what was gonna happen or nothing. Just by watching the first 15 minutes, it was like, all right, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this person's gonna do this person's gonna do that. It wasn't really yeah.
Okay. It was just.
And just let you know, when I watched it was in the middle of the day. So it wasn't late at night, early, it was in the middle of the day. I was wide awake.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just chilling, having fun.
So the trailer. You saw the trailers, okay? Did the trailer excite you? It must have excited you enough to make you walk in that theater and pay that money. So
no,
the trailers didn't do that?
Nope.
Okay.
Honestly, I would have never watched the movie if it wasn't for you.
Really?
Really?
So, hey, DC, y'all need to give me a thumbs up or something. Really? But no, but I think it's. I mean, the movie is worth talking about because, like, after Martin Scorsese said that that movies, that these superhero movies aren't cinema, right? I was like, okay, well, it seems like we should discuss this genre of movie, because I got to tell people out there, like, superhero movies is one genre of many genres of cinema. I think it's cinema. It's cinema. Okay, for me, I'm going on record. It's cinema, but it's not the only cinema. It's not even. I wouldn't even say it's the best cinema. There's no best cinema. It's just your personal taste on what you watch and what you don't watch. Okay, like,
but at the same time, you can break down superhero movies by even further. You have action superhero movies. You have drama superhero movies. You can have a horror superhero movie. So it's just all a superhero movie is literally you have a hero and that has superpowers or powers that nobody can really fathom. Like you could take any movie out there and turn it into a superhero movie. It doesn't have to be Spider-Man, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those are just names that everybody knows or that are from comic books. But a superhero movie is, you can make a normal firefighter into a superhero movie. You know what I mean? So superhero movies to me are just a different way of showing another way of a movie.
And also, just to put it on the record, I do see firefighters as superheroes. Okay, personal. I'm a hiker, and yes, to me, firefighters are superheroes to me. But
okay, superheroes in real life, yes. But I'm talking about superheroes mean they're flying through the sky and blowing out fires with their breath because their breath is cold.
They superheroes to me. They jump out of planes trying to fight fires. Oh yeah,
in real life, hands down, firefighters, cops, they're all superheroes in one way, shape, or form. Okay. I'm just talking about in the movie industry. Okay. You can take a normal firefighter, put him in a movie, and turn it into a superhero movie by making that firefighter have like breath that can blow ice or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like you can make anybody or anything into a superhero. Yeah. It's just the storylines behind it is which gets to me, which I like. Okay. So that's all it is for me. So saying I'm a superhero, like you can make a normal superhero where he's a firefighter, he runs into a building, but they're gonna say, oh, that's a drama. Okay. How is he a superhero? Yeah. Where if you have him have like cans of ice, where if he touches fire, it turns to ice. Okay. They're like, oh, okay, I see how he's a superhero.
Okay. So, but the thing is, it's like, you there? Are you there, Charles? You there? Yeah. Cool. Can you Charles, can you hear me? Charles, can you hear me? I don't know. He's still. I guess still trying to figure it out. Charles.
Yeah, now I'm back.
Okay. I see you. So we're
I can see. I can hear you.
So we're discussing Suicide Squad. So
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So
all right.
The question I just asked CJ. So the trailer, right? Did the trailer inspire you to want to see the movie? Did they do their job to make you walk in there and pay that money? Or as CJ said, because of me is the reason why he saw the movie. I feel good and bad at the same time.
I mean, I would have seen it anyway, minus the trailer. Mm-hmm. So I would have checked it out anyway because it was, a sort of a reboot, not really part two, but more of like a relaunch. I wouldn't even say reboot, like a relaunch of the franchise, So I was gonna check it out anyway,
Mm. So you wouldn't say it's a part two. It's more like a part dos.
No,
it's like another beginning.
It's like right. It's like okay, let's try that. The last one, I don't know. They could have continued that, I guess, but they kept three of the main characters. Viola Davis's character. What's his name? The dude that was in love with the witch. Him, and then Harley Quinn. And everybody else was kind of new. So
they had Boomerang dude.
Yeah, but
Boomerang man. Yeah.
They had Boomerang, but he died in the first 5 minutes
and killed him. Right, which was dumb as hell. I'm like, why even bring him back then? It was just stupid, man. Yeah. It just the jokes weren't really funny. I think I laughed 4 times. It's sad when you can count how many times you laugh at the jokes. I was like, wow, okay, That was kind of funny. Like when Harley shot old dude. Like, these are all spoiler alerts. If you ain't seen it, oh well, you know. But when Harley shot old dude, I was like, oh shit, you know, that was funny. But I'm not familiar with the characters to that degree. Maybe that's just DC being DC with me being a Marvel guy. Marvel came out with the right characters that they wanted to do movies behind. They kind of said, okay, let's go Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. Okay, well, we've seen that before, you know, but they were behind the curve with the DCU because, you know, you never heard of DCU really until you heard of MCU. You said, okay, well, DCU was trying to copy what Marvel's doing. That's what I said. From here on out, they're always going to be compared to Marvel.
Hold on. Superman is a DC asset. Batman's a DC asset. And Wonder Woman is all DC. That's all DC characters.
So, yeah, Aquaman.
And Aquaman, yeah. So, but the X-Men is Marvel. And yeah. So, I mean, and
that's what I'm saying. Marvel beat them to it.
As far as the team.
So, I mean, you had Superman, right, of everything, you know, bringing in the whole MCU. And then the thing, DC was like, wow, Marvel blew up off this. Well, we got the OG characters. You know, we got the ones that everybody knows and loves. Let's bring out Batman. And I think the casting was always right for it. When you have to keep going through all these damn Batmans and all these damn Supermans, you only had what? You only had one, Tony Stark. You with the Hulk, you had three banners, and the last one really worked out better than the other two.
It was only two.
Well, remember the first dude was Eric Bana. He played the first one, and then Edward Norton played the second.
But that one was so long ago that they didn't even really consider that a Marvel property at that point in time. It was just a Hulk movie. Like
they want to distance themselves from that one, you know. So, and I was kind of concerned, like, is this new dude going to be a good Banner? Because the last two kind of didn't work out, and I was like, oh shit, Mark Ruffalo really played the shit out of Bruce Banner. I was like, okay, you know, I was like, that's cool, you know. So, and they didn't have to keep recasting people, you know, like, you know, Batman and Superman. Hoping Wonder Woman is going to stay the same. I'm pretty sure of that.
I hope so. That was a great.
You know, and they weren't endearing when they, like I said, Marvel just had better writers, you know. So
yeah, I agree. The writer for Suicide Squad 2 was the director, James Gunn, and I definitely want to talk about him because, like, I didn't know when I did I found out his initial pitch was that Superman be the villain for the Suicide Squad. And I'm gonna be honest with you, DC, like, that's horrible idea. I would not. Thank God you didn't put Superman as the bad guy for Suicide Squad, because it's impossible for that to happen and that to be realistic enough for them to actually win that fight. Thank God you chose, even though the star, nobody knows, and that's one of the problems. Nobody knows the villain.
Right. Oh, wait, why would that be a horrible decision?
Right.
I don't understand why that would be a horrible decision.
Why would it be a horrible decision? Because Superman is...
Yeah, why would that have been a horrible decision?
Because, okay, this is why. Because if Superman loses, right, in this movie, right, it tanks the other movies that Superman is in. Who you going to get to play Superman? The one that you already got. It's going to tank the thing, because it's going to be like, oh, Superman can get beat up by these weak-ass players, but when his team tried to stop him when he died and came back, and they lost to him, that don't make sense. That don't make sense in that universe that Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg could not stop Superman, but these corny little characters can stop it. That's why it don't work. Because the thing is, the audience.
But you understand, if they did
what?
But you realize if they did that, they're rebooting all of DC.
That's
and the thing about it is they need to reboot all of DC. DC is so bad right now, you need to reboot it from the jump. You need to go down and take characters that nobody's heard of, nobody knows, and literally build up a team or build up the DC with people they don't know, because Superman's played out. Batman is super played out. Wonder Woman's cool because they haven't done a lot of movies on her, but she's cool. So new, yeah. Aquaman, they've not been movies on him, but it's like all their big characters are played out.
Aquaman was cool. I liked Aquaman. I did.
No, Aquaman was, don't get me wrong, Aquaman was cool, Wonder Woman was cool, but because they're so connected with Batman and Superman, they're played out. You need to go and find B, C, D superheroes, build them up, and then, okay, you might throw in a Superman in there. You might throw Batman in there, like as a cameo or little things.
Yeah.
But I would love to see
Like
Superman in a way I've never seen Superman before.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Like what Marvel did with Deadpool. Because Marvel did Deadpool, then they brought two X-Men to hang out with Deadpool. Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing about it is we've never seen Superman as the villain. We've never seen Batman as the villain.
But
why not switch up their character arc as a villain or somebody who's not what they normally are? We always say Superman is the strongest hero ever. Nobody can ever beat Superman. What? You can go and get Doomsday and have Doomsday kill Superman.
The only way you can bring Superman into that universe if you do the other two. There's two other Supermen that are villains that are in the DC universe. You got the Cyber Superman, right, and you got the demonic one. So I mean, there are Supermen that are villains in that universe. It's just, I believe it's confusing to the audience. That's the reason why they didn't.
But the way you would have to do that is the way they did it in the comics. You got to bring Doomsday in, clearly kill Superman.
Okay.
And then like they did, they resurrected Superman, but Superman came back in three forms: the kid form, the metal form, and something else. I forget what forms he came back in, but he came in three different forms. And you can make one of those forms a super villain. But
there are. But I'm saying that the audience might find that confusing if you got this man with the S on his chest, and that's who you know is Superman. That's the same reason why Green Lantern, they haven't done the Black Green Lantern yet, because you still think, when you think Green Lantern, you think the white guy. That's what you think.
True, but here's the thing about it is, like I said, they need to do a reboot on all of DC. Mm-hmm. They need to go to a section where nobody knows these characters. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows anything about these characters except for the super comic booky dudes who know, like, they know the color of Green Lantern's eyes, those kind of comic book dudes. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And therefore, that the general public doesn't know who they are. They don't know their power set. They don't know nothing about them. Mm-hmm. They build those people up where they have little small fights against other people they don't know. Mm-hmm. And they say, oh, this person's stronger than that person. This boss is stronger than that person. Okay. Then you bring in somebody like Cyborg. They fight Cyborg and beat Cyborg. And you're like, okay, so he's a little stronger than Cyborg. But you build them up in those character arcs to where you have a team of 5 to 6 people who can beat a Batman, who can beat a Superman, who can come in there and do that kind of stuff.
I think yes, that's true. I agree with you. That's true. But let's go back to the original history behind Marvel and DC. Marvel, they coined that idea of team ups, of having teams. DC focused on the individual iconic characters. Both dope ideas. But if you look at DC comic books, right, far as what the characters' ailment was, they gave them real ailments. Some they had heroes that had cancer. They had the way they drew them, they had people that were obese, but they were still heroes. So they tried to get it real grounded to what the everyday person looks like, while Marvel did the more like iconic, super, soldier looking, Hitler character.
But at the same time, like they copied each other. Like you have Iron Man. Yeah. Iron Man is Batman. They're the same exact character.
I wouldn't say exact character.
How are they not the same exact character?
I mean, they have the same elements. Let me see.
They're pretty much the same character. You have 2 rich playboys. Something happens to them.
Go on. Okay, they rich.
Something happens to. There's 2 rich philanthropist playboys. Something happens to them. Okay. Then they kind of want to go off and have their revenge because of that, and that leads them into a life of being a superhero.
Okay, but wait up. So, okay, I see the commonality, but the difference is that, okay, Bruce Wayne, right? His parents died. He becomes his emotional wound. You there with me?
Okay, so you think
but Iron Man, his father doesn't get killed or nothing like that. His father creates all these weapons of war, and because of that, he feels guilty, and so he tries to take amends by that and create Iron Man. So they're not the same in that foundation.
Okay, so what you're trying to do is make A to A, B to B, C to C. I'm not going A to A, B to B, C to C. I'm taking the character itself.
Okay.
And it's not like Batman and Iron Man. Iron Man, he's using technology to be a superhero. Batman uses technology to become a superhero. It's not like the other superheroes where they naturally have those superpowers. So you can create whatever storyline or background you want to do it in, background story you want to put behind them, but they basically are the same person because they both don't have superpowers.
Okay.
Where you have Superman, is the Blue Marvel in the Blue Marvel in Marvel Comics is Superman for Marvel, and he's a black guy. You know what I mean? So and he's a black guy. I think he's a mutant or something like that. But he has pretty much the same powers that Superman have.
I know they copied it, like Icon, the black character Icon.
Yeah,
is like Superman.
So I mean, all I'm saying is just that they copied each other in many aspects of it. Okay. When one was doing well, the other one copied it so they could do well.
This get Charles in here. I'm not.
I got it. We good.
We making a stew. Charles, you there with me? Charles, you there? I don't know. I think your signal, you kind of froze.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So talk. Suicide Squad, was it good or not? You there with me? Not. Okay, why?
Yeah.
Why was it not?
Like I said before, it was trying to be funny. You can't really you can't connect to the characters, the new heroes, because like I said, the other Marvel they all had their standalones, except for Hawkeye right now, So you can kind of be like, okay, I'm familiar with this character. I want to see him interact with these guys. Kind of cool to see what Captain America's gonna say to Tony Stark, and Tony Stark say to Thor. And with these dudes, you're not really like the shark guy that you told me. I was like, well, I don't know that cat. I mean, is he like supposed to be their version of the Hulk in this franchise? Because I was like, I don't care about any of these dudes. I want to see Tony Stark, make some jokes and poke around. I don't know these people, except Harley was the only one who had her own standalone. So there's no familiarity with these dudes. Okay. And that's why it didn't work, because I was like, okay. And then you had this weird ass villain, this damn starfish. I'm like, okay, now they're trying to be like, a campy, Godzilla type of thing. And I was like, well, I didn't sign up for this shit. I want to see like them go after somebody legit, like they did in the first one. Yeah. So it just didn't work. It wasn't really a working ass damn movie for me.
Definitely. It felt more like Doom Patrol. Honestly, if you ever looked at that team, it felt like Doom Patrol. But I like Doom Patrol, but it is TV. It works for TV. Suicide Squad is a movie. I don't think they put together works for movies.
Right.
So I mean, what I thought went wrong is too many gimmicks. Yeah. It's too many gimmicks. What I mean by gimmick, this is a gimmick. Remember the character Milton? Do y'all remember the character Milton? The guy who has no superpowers is on the team running around with a gun. And then one of the jokes is after he killed off is, you know who Milton is? And he'd be like, Milton been on the team all this time. He like in the middle of with the shotgun and everything. And it was a funny joke. But I was like, now y'all messing around with my money, because the thing is, I'm thinking I want superheroes. I don't need a person who don't have no hero, who wears Jesus sandals and don't have no powers with a shotgun to be part of the team. And
right. That's why they only gave, I guess you can say Scarlet Widow, but or I'm sorry, whatever her name was, Black Widow. This one, it was like too many regular people. I'm like, oh, he about to die because he ain't got no protection over him, So, you knew Captain America could take a blast. You knew Hulk could take a blast. You knew Tony could take a blast. You was only kind of worried about Hawkeye, like, this nigga, he only got a bow and arrow and shit. What's he gonna
must
do
be a bad
if somebody
motherfucker.
shooting his ass? You know, so but with these cats again, I didn't care about them. I'm like, why did you waste? So it didn't matter to me, man. I was like, okay, well, these dudes died like at the end with the end scene with the hyena, whatever the hell it was. Yeah. Like, that's not funny because I don't know that cat. I don't care about that dude getting up and actually living. You know, again, there was no connection. I was like, okay, the dog lived. Oh shit, all right. I was so pissed. I was like, man, So, they need to let this damn Suicide Squad commit suicide and never do one again.
I mean, I liked the first one. The first one, I was like, okay, cool. I can get with it and stuff like that, right? But the thing is, I don't think they had the budget to hire Will Smith again. That's why I think they swapped out. And not taking up from Idris Elba, not taking up from him, right? And I do like his character a lot, but I don't think they had the money for Will Smith. I really don't.
I mean, the fact that he got $40 million to play the Williams sisters' daddy. I was like, what was that budget? $41.9 million? Like, damn. Yeah. Like, what kind of budget went into that movie? I was like, he got $40 million for that? Like, come on, man.
Hey.
Which he shouldn't have been playing anyway.
It's good to be him. So, CJ, how about you? Was it too gimmicky for you or worse than that?
Like I said in the beginning, I fell asleep more times than not through the whole movie. It was too gimmicky.
Wow.
As he said, I have no connection to any character in there. Half the characters in there, you don't even know what their superpowers are in the very beginning. Okay. Like, they don't have a thing where, like, in the first one, at least they said, oh, it was Deadshot because he can shoot real good.
Exactly.
Oh, she can do this, he can do that. They just walk in and they're just like, oh, we're superheroes. You're like, okay, so what can you do? What can't you do? Like, you had no emotional connection to none of the characters that were in there. And then on top of it, it became even stupider because they gave you a squad and then they kill them off right away. You're like, oh, but that was a B squad. Now this is our A squad.
Yeah.
You're like,
they gave you a fall. And
but the way they gave it was like
horrible.
It was horrible. Like, it was super horrible. And the only people that were saved were the two characters that they really wanted to use for the A squad. Like,
you should have just put them on the A squad.
Right. You should just put them on the A squad to begin with.
Yeah.
And just kill the B squad off and just have them be killed off and not come back.
So, okay, we're going to go with the character.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
One dude, again, his superpower was he expels polka dots that explode. Enough said.
But it was, I mean, visually, it was a dope idea if we knew about the character before.
No.
You don't think so? Visually?
No.
But it was horrible.
If I want to see polka dots, I'll go to a Kwame concert.
So
not a good guy to have on the squad. Okay.
I mean, okay. So I would say this about Polka Dot Boy.
Okay.
If they explained what his powers truly were in the beginning, I think I'd been cool with it. But they were just like, they didn't explain anything for him. And all of a sudden he like throws up and like colors are going all over the place. You're like, okay, what's going on? Yeah. And all of a sudden he can shoot them out at you. It's like, it makes no sense at all. Right. Like, what is his two powers and why is he throwing up or why does he have to expel them? Like, they don't really ever really truly explain it. Mm-hmm. And they say something about it later on, but you need to know what he can do from the beginning.
Yes.
Not in the middle, not at the end, in the beginning.
Yeah. So Stario the Conqueror. That's
just like they did in the first Suicide Squad. You got a back.
Yeah.
You got a little backstory on everybody. Yes.
Okay, so we got Stario the Conqueror, right? We all hate that. I mean, that's the villain. That's the big villain, right?
Yeah, that was dumb.
You got Milton, the character with no powers. I thought that was dumb, right?
Honestly, I get why they used him because he's a iconic DC supervillain. Mm-hmm. It's one of those he's one of those very niche supervillains that nobody really knows about, but yet he can do a whole bunch of different things. Yeah. So I get why they used him.
It's not bad.
And visually, he would look cool visually, but I think that they use him in an incorrect manner.
Okay.
He should have been more of like a Thanos. where you see somebody walk around in the background with a starfish on his face. You're like, why is that? And then like maybe 2 or 3 movies later, you figure out, oh, he's been running around behind the scenes doing a whole bunch of stuff to people, and he's taking over the planet slowly. That kind of a thing. Not just, oh, he's in a big cell and he gets out, he's trying to take over everybody. Like they use him in an improper manner.
Okay.
They really need to have, to me, DC really needs to slow down, reboot the whole DCU, and take a character and develop that character. Take another character, develop that character. Then maybe those 2 characters run into each other in a 3rd movie.
Yep.
Who focusing on somebody else, but they run into those 2 characters, so you know they're actually all in the same area, all in the same world. But build it out slowly. Right. Like Marvel took 10 years to do the first saga almost.
Yeah.
They're trying to make their first saga in a year and a half, 2 years. You can't do that. You have to build these movies out slowly but surely. You have to get people invested in the characters, people invested in the movies, people invested in what's going on. Because if you're not invested, you're gonna be like me. You're gonna fall asleep on the couch and not care.
But how about Amanda Waller? As far as your theory goes, right? Your theory, right? Amanda Waller would be a great character to build out because she's the villain in a lot of people's stories, right?
Then build it around her. Then build it around her.
She is a dope villain.
But you still, that's only one character. You need 30 to 40 characters. Look at this. DC, like Marvel, their catalog of characters is deep. They have at least 100 to 200 characters you've never even heard of. Why not grab some of these characters, start building them up, start getting people interested in them, and then start building out your world. And then you can always have a Superman fly by in the background, a Batman car parked somewhere else. People love the MCU because of the Easter eggs, because of the little things they put in the background about other characters they're not even talking about yet. Like, so build out your team, build out the characters you want, and then have a magazine open. They're talking about Superman saved the day over here, or Batman got locked up somewhere back in Arkham, or whatever. You can and build them up that way, so that way people have interest, but then the interest goes deeper because you're putting so many little Easter eggs and so many little plot lines behind the scenes. Like I remember seeing people talk about in the first Superman, or the first Iron Man movie, when whatchamacallit, Samuel Jackson came in. He was like, in the deleted scene, he was like, we gotta look out for spiders, mutants, and mutants and something else. So even back then, they knew like the characters they wanted to use way in the future. They're like, if we can get to this point, we're gonna use these characters. But let's build it out slowly.
DC does have bomb characters. It's just they not using them correctly. I got 3 characters that are bomb, right? They can easily use and definitely win. Okay, we're gonna go with John Stewart, Green Lantern. You know that's a bomb character, right? You would watch that. Static, that new character. Static would be a dope. He's a teenager. That's dope.
But here's the thing about Static. If they use Static, they would have to make that a hood movie, because Static is hood. Static is not a normal, I'm a superhero. Static grew up on the bad side of town, and he just happened to be some smart kid, and everything happened for him in the way. But you would have to make that like Boys in the Hood almost to make that movie really pop. Static.
Well, how about this? How about Vixen? Vixen had animated series, right? She's a dope character. She's just as cool as Black Panther. She's just as cool. You couldn't do a movie like that and build that out?
And that's the case, why don't you use Blue Beetle? Blue Beetle?
Yes. Blue Beetle is a great character to build out. Like, I would watch that.
You know what they need to do? They need to make the hood version of the DCU. Like all the hood characters, put them all together and make them have a team.
So I'm gonna go over the characters. Rick Flagg, right? I like the character. I like being that Captain America character. But what they had to do what they did to him. I liked him. I wanted to keep him.
But I mean, the post-credit scene, he's still there, technically speaking.
Yeah. Then you got Bloodsport. I thought it was Idris Elba was perfect for that character. I think he did a really good job.
But they need to build out his character better. Like they just kind of threw him in the mix. They didn't. He needs his own movie where you understand where he came from and who he is and why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, because they did the because who they had Deadshot, but Deadshot, that first movie they built it out enough with the emotional wound and everything that you got it, you loved it, and you cared for it. So how about what you think? Okay. So now Peacemaker, John Cena. I like John Cena.
Can you hear?
I can hear you, Charles. So what do you think of Peacemaker? Okay. So Peacemaker, he coming back. Peacemaker, John Cena. I like John Cena, right? As an action hero, right? John Cena in this movie, cool. But I would not make a television show with him because you don't care about the character. He's like a corrupt Captain America.
Pretty much.
Not even a villainous Captain America, just a corrupt one. And I'm just like, the character that I absolutely would have done, and I don't know why they didn't do it. I would have took Blackguard, the guy from Saturday Night Live, and made a show about him. I'm telling y'all would have watched it. Y'all would have watched it.
Like I said, you know what? I feel that you could take any of the characters they had in the movie, and if you gave them a backstory, you gave them their own little. Okay, this is the way I would do it. I would go, because I know DC has a contract with the CW, and they have like the Flash, they have the Green Arrow, and I would give all these characters little TV shows, maybe a season or two, so that you get some kind of interest in these characters. And from there, I would put them all on the team. Because if you don't have interest in the character, know who the character is, or know their background, it's like, I lose interest too easily. I lose interest way too fast.
Television shows. They do the crossover shows to set you up for a movie. That's what I thought.
And that's it. That's what I'm saying. You set them up for these movies. Yeah. You set them up for the movies, and then you set up those movies for other movies.
Yeah.
Like you can have one season of any character, Harley Quinn. So you have a background, you know who she is, you have interest in her. And then from there, you shoot her into a movie with whoever you might want to do. But in that movie, it's not about Harley Quinn. It's about the other character. Okay. People are coming to see Harley Quinn, but they're learning about the next character. You know what I mean? And then from there, you go have another TV show. Okay. And then you just keep on doing that, where you do a TV show, maybe you shoot them into a movie, or you do whatever you got to do so you can gain the interest of the public for those characters. Because if the people do not care who those characters are, your movie's going to flop no matter how you do it.
Okay. So Charles, you there? Charles? Hello? Okay. Go ahead, CJ.
So, I mean, that's my biggest thing. I understand that Harley Quinn was the main character throughout all these movies, because that's the only character people cared about. Okay. That's why she got her own movie, because she was the one who popped in the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And so they kept her going by doing the Birds of Prey, and now they put her in the second Suicide Squad movie. So they're trying to build her up so that she becomes a main character that they're trying to build around. Okay. But I just think they're doing it in a dumb manner by throwing all these other characters and see who pops. Yeah. All they're doing is they're throwing characters at you and see who the public is like, oh, that was a cool character. Oh, I like how he acted. No, you need to make it where I don't care who your actor is, you find an actor that fits that part perfectly. Okay. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody cares who they are as a person. They see them as that character.
But the thing is, okay, I agree with you. But like, if we got like stars, like for example, we had Savant. I forgot the Mickey Rourke. I think Mickey Rourke played Savant, and that's the first image you see in the movie. So we're thinking Mickey Rourke is going to do some acting. We think Mickey Rourke is going to be that, and then the way you do that to him, I'm trying not to give out the movie, but the way you do that to him is like it's such a letdown, because it was like, oh, I'm gonna rock with Mickey Rourke. I like him, and I'm like, you got these stars, and then you got the fake out. We think the story's gonna be about them, but it ain't.
But here's the thing about it. I'm so tired of the DC. I don't want to see name anybody. I want somebody who becomes that character. Okay. You need to find a young actor that not everybody knows about. Maybe a couple people here that know about that actor, but they become an iconic character, like almost like Hugh Jackman. Can you see Hugh Jackman as anybody else other than Wolverine?
Yeah, no, I can't.
That's the kind of characters they need to start having, because they can't have a character where only you can see that person as that. Like Hugh Jackman can do another movie, and you're like, no, that's Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's the kind of characters they need to have. And because the DC has such iconic characters like Superman, like Batman, they need to have actors who nobody knows about, so that when they come in and do these movies, all you see is that character.
Yeah.
You don't see them as, they can do another movie. You could do the guy who did Harry Potter. Every time I see him in any other movie, I'm like, oh, that's Harry Potter. Okay. What's Harry Potter doing in this movie? How did Harry get over it? I don't even know his name. I just call him Harry Potter, because to me, he is Harry Potter.
But Charles, you there with us? Charles. So Charles, if you can hear me, Charles, just come back on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, if it doesn't work out again, just come back on with your phone. Just type in the information, the Zoom thing, and then you can just come in on your phone. If it does. But anyway, back to what we was talking about.
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you think? What do you think of her, Harley Quinn, being a star? Charles.
The star of Suicide Squad?
Yeah. Was that a good idea? Or, I mean,
it's a good idea. I mean, other than Deadshot, I guess, with Will, but because she's the only one again that had a standalone movie.
Okay.
So she's the only one you can kind of connect to and relate to. I got no problem with that, man. Thing again, they need to go with characters that a lot of people, like the regular folk, know. You know, again, like I said, Marvel years trying to throw everybody in and just catch up to where Infinity, left off, and it's like, I think people might be superhero universed out at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's been since 2008, really. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, people are beginning to be definitely universed out. So these are the characters that they killed off. Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, what do you think of Weasel? Before I tell you all the people that got killed off in this movie, what do you think of that character?
I think he was supposed to be the comic relief, and they just did a horrible job at it.
They killed him, and he died. And then
no, they didn't even kill him. He was going to die, and they dragged him back to the beach, and he was trash. Yeah, straight trash.
Not worth putting in the movie.
No, they use that character for what reason?
I don't know.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I think that DC needs to do a complete
reboot
of everybody. And literally go from characters that nobody knows about, nobody even knows they're DC characters, and build it up slowly but surely over the next 10 to 20 years. And know that it's not going to be a 3-year thing where they can have everything blow up in 3 years. It's going to be 10 years. It's going to be 20 years. It's going to be 30 years before you actually are where Marvel's at right now. Because Marvel's killing the game because they took it slowly from the jump. Like, I'm so glad they give Kevin Feige control over all of Marvel, because he built the movies up so well. Now he's been building TV shows. He's going to do comics. He has everything lined up so that way if he puts a character in a movie, he's going to have that same character in the comic books.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, if you had the right writers, because even James Gunn is the writer for Suicide Squad 2, but I got a list of other stuff he's touched and other stuff he's going to touch. And I'm just like, I think I can do a better job than him. And I'll go on record and say that, because the thing is, some of the stuff is like a hit and miss like type thing. Far as the thing is, the thing is, the way they need to tell stories is not strong enough to basically elevate themselves fast. You need really good emotional wounds, something that you can feel, you can connect with. Because the thing is, they're superheroes, but the thing is, they got to live in this human world. You know what I mean? So so I'll go over so I'll go into James Gunn real quick. Okay, so James Gunn movie, he did Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I like that one. He did Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He should have. I don't think that was the best part 2. Because
but here's the thing about it is Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was setting up Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like literally the way he's making his movies is they're setting up the next movie. They're setting up other movies. So the thing about it is you can't always judge the Marvel movies by the movie itself. Okay. You have to watch it and realize what it's setting up for the next thing.
That's not a Marvel. That's not a Marvel product. That's what is that? They joined with Marvel, but I get what.
Who? Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy is
that is Marvel. That is strictly Marvel.
Okay. Why did he did such a bad job on this DC product then? You know?
I think because of the characters he was given. And
they don't have
the flex. They don't have the flexibility that the MCU has. The MCU literally says, you know what? I'm going to give you these characters, and they're going to have a story arc of 4 movies or 3 movies or however they want to do it.
So because
they're able to go from these one characters, and by the time the 3rd movie comes, they're a completely different character. And they're also building out their arcs by throwing them in other movies, so you see snippets of them, and you get to learn more about them, even though they're not in their own individual movies.
This is like Rocket and
Rocket and Groot and do you like they're building these characters out.
You already know those guys.
Yeah, so
and you want to see them hang out, see how they interact with each other.
So you have to understand, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is setting up the universe for Marvel. You got to learn about Ego the Living Planet, who's a Celestial. They're saying the Celestials, what the Eternals are just not coming out with now. And how long ago did the Guardians of the Galaxy come out? Yeah. And they're setting up years before they're having these characters come out.
Okay.
So Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you can't judge it on the actual movie. You have to judge on it what it's setting up in the future.
But I can understand, because the Guardians of the Galaxy, I will say, it's more like an act 2 of a trilogy. So it's not a movie by itself. It's more like a setup of a series it's more like an act 2.
You got to realize at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they had a setup for the next character, which is Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Like it's a setup movie. It was like the first movie gave you that right hand punch to say, oh, who are these guys? Wow. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. The second was like, okay, we're gonna come with that slip before we hit you with that another hook or something. That's what they were doing. It was a setup for the next movie, and Marvel messed up because they let James Gunn go to DC. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was supposed to have been out, but they had their squabble or whatever they want to do, and they lost out on it. Now it got pushed back so far. The setup they had is not the setup they were going to have. Even though I heard that his script he didn't change too much, but he still had to change the script so it could fit the narrative of what the whole Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
So I think James Gunn is a great director because he understands what he's doing. But the DC is trying to rush things so much that he's in a time restraint. They're saying, okay, I want these characters to pop, these to do this. And he's like, yo, like we were saying earlier, they wanted to make Superman the supervillain. But why was he trying to do that? He was trying to use it as a setup point for other things.
I think he was rushing.
Set things up. You can't keep on doing these movies. Suicide Squad literally should be a one-off. If they're trying to do it like that, they need to make Suicide Squad, and that's it. Never make another Suicide Squad. No 2, no nothing else. Move on to another character because they're making these literally individual movies like they would normally make a movie. It's like you making a movie on my life. You make the movie about my life. You don't make My Life Part 2, because it's gonna be like you book into everything.
So Charles, jump in. So while we got you, man, because it's crazy shit.
I don't know what's going on, man.
But so what do you think of James Gunn? Because he's going to do Peacemaker, the TV series, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right? And he's doing Wile E. Coyote. He's doing the Wile E.
Well, I don't know.
So. Yes, I know.
But you know, but you know what happened with him? He got caught up in that whole Me Too movement, and they took him off Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember? Yeah. And everybody was like, "Well, no, we want him back. We want him back." So that threw a lot of stuff into turmoil. I mean, I don't know what the Wile E. Coyote thing is going to look like. I mean, I'm curious, of course. You know, like I said, I have a problem with him doing the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the issue there would have been, I mean, are we MCU big screen out? You know, we go to Hulu and we see it on the streaming services. So I don't know. Again, has the heyday for the superhero movie gone? Has it already passed us after Endgame? So I don't know if there could be younger cats who want to check it out, but we grew up with these comic books. A lot of these cats, these youngest,
These are just movies
millennials,
for them.
they didn't grow up with the same comic books.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to be attracted to the same stuff that they're about to do, unless the kids just be like, oh, I want to check it out because my mom and dad love them. So that way.
But they're not, because Deadpool wasn't around when we was kids. Deadpool is a newer character. There was Superman, Batman,
but Deadpool. Wait, hold on. Wait.
What?
Deadpool is not DCU. Deadpool is MCU.
I'm talking about this comic books itself. He wasn't.
But here's the thing. But Deadpool's been around for since I was a little, not little, but when I was a teenager, Deadpool came out. That was like early '90s that Deadpool came out.
But I'm saying the type of character he is versus a Superman. He's not Superman.
But that's how Marvel is, though. Marvel has always been like that. They've been like the anti-DC. They wanted to come out with people who had flaws, and DC didn't start doing that until they saw the success of Marvel. Then they started having flaws with their, red, white, and blue characters and stuff like that. So that's why MCU attracted a lot of minorities, because you can kind of go, oh man, they kind of going through some shit like I'm going through. That's why X-Men blew up, because of the whole Martin Luther King and Malcolm X dynamic they had going on. So, and DC was never gonna do that shit. They was never gonna happen like that.
DC did have
that's what I'm saying.
real. They tried to. The original, when DC first came out, they did have like medical conditions and people died and stuff like that. They tried to make it too real, and people wasn't into too real at that time.
But you gotta understand like this,
and that's what happened.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, CJ. No, go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
I was about to say you're comparing apples to oranges right now. Like DC will always have the iconic characters like Superman and Batman. And the thing about it is that the young people you have to make movies not for the characters, but what for the movies are. If you're going to make a Superman movie, it's an action movie. It just happens to have Superman in it. If it's a comedy, it's a comedy. It just happens to have Deadpool in it.
Okay.
Right. No matter what you do as far as these characters go, it's not about who you have in the movie. It's about what the movie's about.
Okay.
It's like the Fast and Furious. The Fast and Furious is about driving cars. But yet now they're going to space. It's the basic the basic thing is it was about people who like seeing cars. They built that whole franchise around it.
They drove in space. They
drove to space. But
right.
It's not necessarily about the movie itself or the characters itself. It's about what the movie's about. So you can take any kind of character you want and figure out what you want. Like, I know they're supposed to do the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the first horror movie in the MCU because it's a horror movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's a horror movie.
Right.
You can take the Joker and make it a horror movie.
I mean,
you can take
the Joker made it into a tragedy. They actually take like a Shakespearean tragedy. That I'm a Joker.
But the thing about it is that you're saying, will the kids be interested in these characters? They're not going to be interested in the characters. They're going to be interested in a movie. You're going to say, hey, it's a horror movie. The people who love horror movies are going to see it. It's a love story. It's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like once we get into DC and I mean, once we get into Marvel, you can look at the characters they're coming out with now, like in WandaVision, they had Wicked.
Yeah, that's a love story, yeah.
No. Wanda's story was a love story, but one of the characters they put in there, Wicked, was one of her kids. He eventually joins to another team, but he has a love story with another character, and eventually they're probably gonna go into that, and they're gonna have their female drama love story between two different superheroes where they fall in love.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? It's not about the characters you have in the movie. It's about what the movie's about, which is going to attract people.
Okay.
And then once you actually have them go to different movies or you see them in different properties, you become invested in them. Like we became invested in WandaVision because we knew who Wanda Maximoff was, not because of the show. And when they came out with Falcon Winter Soldier, did I really care about the show? No, but I became invested in those characters because I knew who those characters were. And I want to see their story arc and where they're going.
Yeah.
Not because of the show.
So, I mean, so who fault is it that Suicide Squad didn't, really work?
DC.
Was it James Gunn? Was it Walter Hamada, who basically was the president? Was it his fault? Because he's a president of DC-based film productions. But before you say maybe it was his fault, he did do the movie 47 Ronin. And 47 Ronin was a dope movie. He actually wrote that. So I know he know his stuff. He know it's good, but
it's DC.
But he might not know superheroes.
DC. Huh? It's DC. DC is just DC's not trying to build out their superheroes. They want to give you a big movie for the big bucks.
Nope.
If they were gonna really try to do this right, they would build up their superheroes or build up their supervillains, however they want to do it. They would build them from the ground up and make people invested in these people. Okay. Not in the character. They would have them invested in the characters because they're like, oh my God, Superman did this. Let me see what Superman's going to do next. Oh, whatever character you want to put it, you got to put them in. You got to make where the people want to know what's happening to that character.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'll go back to the Fast and Furious. Does anybody really care about what they're doing? Mm-hmm. They just want to see the characters and where they're going, what kind of crazy stuff they're going to be doing now. They could literally say, you know what? We're driving to the center of the earth, and people are going to watch it. Because they're invested in those characters.
Right.
I mean, think about it. The week before they came out, how many memes did you see about it's all in the family? Because they're invested in the characters, not the storylines.
I mean, but true.
Right.
That movie is no superheroes, but they do super heroic stuff. Even
the stunt.
Oh, how about Star Wars? What about?
Okay, hold up. Wait, no, Star Wars is something completely different. Because the reason why Star Wars is different is because Star Wars had an original crew, and now they had to phase that crew out. So they're trying to make other characters that people are invested in. That's why they went all the way to the front, and they're building out. Now, if you look how they're building out now, they're actually smarter with Star Wars than they actually are doing with Marvel, because they're doing live action and animated, and they're making them all interact with each other, so it contains a complete storyline for everybody.
They're doing
so have the same character.
The TV and the anime and the cartoons, but as far as the movies go,
no, that's the whole point. They're building it out with the animated series. You have a series called The Bad Batch, which is talking about clone troopers, a group of clone troopers, and what they did from their time. They're going back in their, I don't want to say retconning, but they're going back and filling in gaps in the timelines to make sure you understand everything that's going on. All these characters. You have Mandalorian, which is actually taking them into the future. But guess what? You had characters from the Clone Wars. These are cartoon characters. They're now making live action characters because these were iconic characters in the animated version. Now they're making them live because people still have that connection to them. So they're building out their universe. And they're not only just building out with live action. They're doing live action, they're doing TV shows, and they're doing animated series that all rolling together. So if you're not watching every little thing, you're going to get lost in about 5 years. About, well, who's that person? Who's that person? What's going here? What's going there? And the people who are actually watching every little thing, they'll be like, oh, well, he was over here. This is person, this. And they're all tying in. Like Ahsoka Tano in the Mandalorian. If you didn't watch the old show cartoons about it, you would never know who she was.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
True. So Charles, as CJ is saying, right, what went wrong with Suicide Squad and just DC itself is they ain't got no plan? Is that what the consensus is?
They're trying to cash in on what the MCU did over at Marvel Studios, and they're trying to get, like you said, they're trying to make a big buck real quick off of like, let's put all our superheroes in one movie and we'll be like the fake ass Avengers, and they would have some fake ass anti-Avengers. But what they don't realize is the Avengers was both. You don't know what Loki, he shows up, is he good, is he bad? So you kind of know his history.
Yeah.
Their issue is there's no major backstory. The only one person in the Suicide Squad that had a standalone movie was Harley, so you more invested in her than anybody else on there. and they just every time they put out something, it's automatically going to be compared to Marvel, and that's just going to be the cross they're going to have to bear from here on out.
But what's going to happen, because Suicide Squad, that's DC. The Marvel version of that is the Thunderbolts, right? It's the Thunderbolts, because Thunderbolts are the villains for Marvel. And with DC's gonna, it's gonna be, they're gonna watch, and they watch, and that bus is gonna fly right past them, right? Is that the Thunderbolts are gonna come out and do a better job than what Suicide Squad did, and they're gonna feel hurt. They got them hurt butt feelings, because right now they're in perfect position to move ahead. Because when Thunderbolts come out, that's it. So
and you know they're setting up the Thunderbolts right now.
They're
setting up the Thunderbolts.
Whoa.
You have the Captain. He's not Captain. He's they're not calling him Captain America now. The one guy in Captain America. They're agent, whatever now. He's part of the Thunderbolts. You have Thunderbolt Ross, who's been in the MCU since the beginning. Is about to become a part of the Thunderbolts. He's gonna be the Red Hulk. You have so many characters they've already had in place that people already know, and they're setting them up to be in the Thunderbolts. Now they might switch some characters in and out from the iconic Thunderbolts team, but they're setting it up. They've set it up for the last 5 years.
So Suicide Squad, they should have kept the same characters, right, and just built them out. Because to me, Will Smith as was Deadshot is a perfect character to build out and give him a movie that's right basically in the shadows of Batman, because Batman is basically his antagonist. So I'm like, if you even give me a shadowy, like you kind of see Batman, but he's not in the movie, but you see like if you gave me a Deadshot movie, boom, I'm there with you. And I know the man don't really got no super magical powers, but Will Smith can play that character. And I really feel like they not doing their jobs of making their product excellent. They just get I think they're for the paycheck. Honestly,
they're just going for the cash grab. They're not building out their characters. Like they should have done the first Suicide Squad, and they made a couple movies about a couple of the characters they want to keep on going with them. But they dropped all the characters.
Yeah,
like it's a cash grab. I honestly think DC's a cash grab. They're trying to do a cash grab off of Marvel. Like Sony's trying to do a cash grab off of Marvel. The only difference is that they're actually working with Marvel for their cash grab.
Yeah. But they better get their shit together, because once Thunderbolts come out, they're going to lose their fan base.
It's done. No, it's not even, they've already lost their fan base. I don't know anybody who actually really cares about DC other than comic heads who love DC.
Yeah. I'm a Green Lantern fan. So I love the Green Lantern.
Right.
They did me dirty. I'm gonna say this straight up. Walter Hamada, you did me dirty with Green Lantern. Okay, you did me real dirty. Let's just move on to John Stewart. Please, let's just move on to John Stewart. Start Green Lantern from that perspective, right? Or even one of the other Green Lanterns. Just don't start with the first one. Give me the second, third, or fourth one, right? I'll be happy. I'll ride or die for the Green Lantern thing. But please, let us write it. I guarantee you'll be pleased.
But here's the thing about it is, you can take Green Lantern and then literally make a whole world around Green Lantern, because you have the Green Lantern Corps, you have the Red Corps, the Pink Corps. You can make a whole world that has nothing to do with the rest of the DCEU and build it out to where it's its own little world, its own little thing. Yes, they're a DC character, but build out that world. They have supervillains, they have superheroes, they have everything you ever need just in the Green Lantern Corps by itself.
And Superman, two Supermans are villains in that universe.
But here's the thing about it.
Like, you can still do it, but
they need to take themselves away from Superman, Batman. They need to go way away from them. They need to cut their losses, and maybe in 10 or 15 years, when people forgot about those movies, you start bringing those characters back in. I mean, the greatest thing that happened to Marvel, in my opinion, was that they sold off all their big characters. Yeah. They had to go to the Iron Man. They had to go to Captain America. They had to go to all these characters, because when Stan Lee was on his last leg, he sold off Spider-Man, iconic character. He sold off the X-Men, iconic characters. He sold off the Hulk, iconic character. he sold off all his big properties, and what he was left with was the B Squad. And that's what Marvel Studios started off with, the B Squad. People that, comic book characters or characters that nobody truly knew about, and they were able to give them life. So Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, that's the only thing people see him as. We saw him in Dr. Dolittle, and guess what? We still was like, why was Iron Man and Dr. Dolittle?
Right.
He became that iconic character. DC literally needs to go to something that has nothing to do with anybody else and start that world out. So that way they can't say nothing about Batman, Superman, Flash, nobody they've already talked about. They need to build it out for 10 to 15 to 20 years. And once everybody's forgotten about Superman, Batman, and all these characters, then you start sprinkling them in. You start sprinkling little things in about them here and there. And then they can come in full force. But find somebody an actor who nobody really knows about, and make him that character so that when they see Superman, that's the only thing you see him as.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're coming down. Okay. So did we get all our angst out about the DC?
No, I think DC just burn it down. Burn it down.
I don't think he's supposed. No, you just need a great writer to come in there.
No, but that's the whole point.
Genius.
You need to burn it down. Burn it down. Because the thing about it is you've had 3 Batmans, 3 Supermans, 4 this, 5 that.
You have plenty of time to build something.
What?
Right.
They need to separate themselves from those characters altogether. Even though I love Aquaman, I love Wonder Woman, they're too closely related to Batman and Superman.
Okay.
They need to cut their losses with those characters. Now, like you said, Green Lantern, it's been what, 5-6 years since we had a Green Lantern movie?
Yeah, and then
it's long enough where the little kids don't remember it.
Who's the actor that played Green Lantern? The guy that played Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and I love how they keep making fun of Green Lantern in all the different movies. Like even all the little movies like, give me a costume, but please don't let it be green. I'm like, bastard. Y'all get on my nerves. Like I'm so upset at the fact y'all be dogging my Green Lantern because I know Green Lantern is dope. Especially if you start with John Stewart, because John Stewart was on many teams.
But here's the thing about it is you can't. That's the whole point I'm trying to say. Yes, he's been on many teams, but they need to separate him from everybody else. They've burned their britches with anybody who you can associate with Superman and Batman.
Okay.
They need to go get characters, even though they might be associated with them, that the general public doesn't associate them with them. Okay. If you've ever had a movie with a Batman or a Superman, guess what? You cannot touch those characters. They're burned.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can say the DC. That's by taking characters that nobody knows.
How about you, Charles? Okay, so how about you, Charles? Is that your truth too?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else they can do. They can't keep trying to put out these fast movies and expect us to be invested in these characters that we don't really relate to. Like, I don't know that cat, like it's just not working for them. But they'll keep making money because, of course, people go to the movies and check it out. But they're never going to get on Marvel's level, man. I just even if they do all the other stuff, I just don't ever see them duplicating Marvel's success and likability.
But is there any solution? Because the thing is, you can't sit up and complain about it, or you just don't care nothing about DC at all. Like, I mean,
right?
At all? Okay.
No.
Like, it's like I was saying. Like, the solution is you take characters that nobody knows about and build a world that has nothing to do with Superman and Batman, and you build it out slowly. You like we said, you can take the Blue Beetle. You could take Static Shock. You could take all these characters and build a world around them and build it out. Take 10, like literally Marvel said, Robert Downey Jr., we're giving you a 20-year contract because we know what you're going to have. We're going to give you 5 movies over the next 10 years. Yeah. They need to take that same kind of thing with characters that nobody really knows about and build them out. So that way, okay, I have you locked in for the next 8 years. You find a young guy, a young actor, a young actress, and you say, okay, I love the way you are. I want you to become the Blue Beetle. And for the next 10 years, you're going to be the Blue Beetle.
Which would be so dope if you did it, DC. You would be so dope if you did that.
But guess the thing about it is they can't reference Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, none of those characters. You can't reference any of those characters.
I see your point. I see your point in Star Wars. Because the thing is, when they first came out, you always talked about the Jedi. Now, the Mandalorian was an enemy of the Jedi, but we rarely talk about Jedi at all. Maybe reference them, but they started doing that with their other product. Even they had that movie, I forgot which movie, where there's literally no Jedi in it, but everybody dies. Like I forgot the name, but the Final Hope or something like that. But yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Rogue One. Rogue One.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it is, Rogue One was a major thing for the movies because anybody who actually understood the Star Wars lore, they realized that Rogue One was what started the first saga.
Yeah.
You know how they said in the first saga, they're like, oh, these guys died because they were trying to get us this information? That was Rogue One.
Yeah. But I started hating the Star Wars franchise the moment Disney touched it. Once Disney touched it,
right.
I think they messed up the films.
I agree.
I don't think so.
I agree, and I'm gonna tell you why I think they really messed up. What? I think here's the thing I have with the new reboot. I think they blew it. Now I might take some heat for this by turning the Luke Skywalker character over to a female. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people were like, okay, yeah, because we're used to the badass being a badass male, and I don't think she connected to a lot of the fans. Where I was like, okay, well, people don't really want to see her again, I guess. But then they had to keep rolling them out because she was already the face of the franchise.
No, for me, it wasn't because she was female. It wasn't because she was female. I don't like the actor. I don't like the actress. I really don't. That's the main reason why I didn't tune in, because the way you wrote the character, the backstory, and then the woman is just mean mugging the camera. Like she got that resting bitch face every time she's on camera, and then we supposed to be cheering for her. Well, if you look at Luke Skywalker, the man had many faces of many emotions, and we roll with that. I don't like the actress because the thing is, I would have chose another actress because whoever's the leading character, the leading actor or actresses, you have to like them in 80% of the movie because guess what? They are right in most scenes. I didn't connect.
Okay, so I'm gonna go against both of y'all. Y'all both gonna hate me right now.
Yeah.
I actually like the movies because it's not about the individual characters or the individual what they're doing. They're actually building out the world for Star Wars.
Okay.
You might see, you know who the character is. Even though you might hate her, you know who she is.
Yeah.
And eventually, guess what? She's gonna be in another property, and over here, they're building out that world. They're literally trying to build out the Star Wars world where you can bring in characters that people haven't heard about or whatever. And so they're building it out. So one character that you say is a main character is never a main character because guess what? They're going to flip them and they'll be behind the scenes for somebody else. And they're always constantly rotating in who they're focusing in on because they're building out that world. But it wasn't necessarily the characters.
But it wasn't the character. It's because their arc. Like the thing is, there's the positive character arc, the flat character arc, and the negative character arc. They gave her a flat character arc because they wanted to expand the world. But I'm like, I like the iconic Jedi thing. I like the positive, but the thing is, I didn't like the arc, and I didn't like the actress.
I think the whole Jedi thing is played out already because they go Jedi. I don't want to learn about the Jedi no more. I already know enough about the Jedi. Now, so you can go to super deep Jedi lore where you're talking about like the people who were protecting the Jedi from the. If you want to go to super deep Jedi lore, okay, give me Jedis. Now I want to learn about the Mandalorians. Now I want to learn about everybody else who's out there in the Star Wars lore and sprinkling Jedis here and there. But I don't care about the Jedis. Like you had 3, 6, not 12 movies talking about Jedis.
Okay,
I'm done with Jedis. That's why I say I don't care if she was good, bad, or whatever, because I knew that they were using her to help build out this world as far as finding other characters, other things that they could talk about in that world. Okay. Because literally, think about it. They've talked about Jedis for so much. When we think about Star Wars, we think about Jedi. But I don't want to think about Jedi no more.
But the difference between, you're right. But they did think about, okay, cool. We've done it so much that we need to turn that corner, and we're going to turn the corner instead of the audience telling us to turn the corner, right? We're going to turn the corner and just keep going, and we go along. DC, we had a point that we're like, I wish he turned that goddamn bus. I wish make that goddamn right turn. Motherfucker, you went through 10 streets already. You still ain't make no right turn yet. And that's
they're about to fall off the cliff. They're about to hit that cliff
like,
and just be like, I mean, think about it. They're like, you can look at DC. They had Shazam.
Yeah.
Shazam was not a known character for DC.
I like Shazam. I like that movie.
But here's the thing about it is, why did you have to put Superman in it? If they could have built the world out of Shazam without putting Superman in it, and he'd be okay. Because he wasn't the toxicity of Superman wouldn't touch Shazam. And then you have a good actor coming in, The Rock's coming in to play Black Adam.
That's going to be dope.
Look at this. That's going to be dope. But guess what? It's already been poisoned by you putting Superman in it. It's a poison franchise by having Superman in it. Just seeing his S on it, poison the franchise.
But no, him as Black Adam is a dope villain. He's a really dope villain. They can mess it up. Yes. You can really mess it up.
They've already messed it up by putting Superman in it. By having Superman in the first one. He's toxic now. It is complete toxicity.
Poison Superman. Okay, I never thought this.
Superman, Batman are poison. Leave them alone. They need to just go in a hole, bury it, and pretend they never even existed.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, tell me why you should keep Superman and Batman around.
No,
tell me why we should keep them around.
The other idea that we started with. Let's talk about that. Okay, we're gonna bury Superman. You keep talking about Superman now. Okay, okay. How about you said grim dark? That grim dark idea that I was talking to you about. You're saying that another way of DC getting better is go the grim dark way, which is basically tell stories about villains whooping the good guys' asses, and it just be a dark ass story, like the bad guy win. We talking about a whole bunch of Thanos movies. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
that's what you want.
I'm down for that.
So Charles, what you think of that? He want to do a whole bunch of movies with Thanos as the lead guy. Whole bunch of dark, grim dark stuff. Does that work for you?
Hey, it might work. It might work.
That's a lot of money for it might work.
It might work. Hey, every movie's a crapshoot, dog. Nothing's guaranteed until you go in and get to the theater.
Okay.
So look at Fast 9. I mean, they did well, but you know.
Okay. This is all I'm saying with the grim dark thing.
Okay.
The MCU, the DCU always has a positive spin. Superhero. We win.
Okay.
That's nice. Why don't we flip it on its head? Why don't the bad guys win a couple times?
Okay.
Why don't they take over the world? Why don't they make the world in some kind of apocalyptic thing? And once you think all is taken care of, there's no way these people can do stuff, then the superheroes win one fight. Then they win another fight. No. Oh, they lost a fight, but they win one. They lose one until it becomes an even fight. But if you keep on having the superheroes win every time, as soon as you walk into the movie theater, you'll be like, oh, well, I know Superman's going to win.
Let's see how they're going to win.
Let's see how he's going to win.
Huh?
But if you have Superman come in and he loses the dark side, and Darkseid is like over top of him, like, you thought you were gonna win. Next. I mean, you can even do the Doomsday.
But it might be Harry Potter. Remember all them Harry Potter movies when he lost? And you like, really? I gotta wait 2 more years just to get a win? Like,
but here's the thing about it is, look at this. Even with the Harry Potter movies, he lost, but people still did what? They still went to go see if he could finally win.
But you was getting tired. You was like, man, I gotta wait another 2 years for a Harry Potter.
But here's the thing about it is, guess what? They're not waiting 2-3 years to throw out these movies. Okay. They're waiting a year, maybe a year and a half to throw out a movie. Okay. And if you really think about it, if you're rolling out like the MCU is, every 3 to 6 months you're rolling out a new MC or new DC movie, you're gonna still keep the interest, even though that one character hasn't had his own movie in a year or two.
Okay.
So if you have 5 or 6 supervillains, one supervillain kicks Batman's ass, another one kicks Superman's ass, another one kicks Green Lantern's ass, another one kicks Wonder Woman's ass, another one kicks Aquaman's butt, and you keep on having them flip around where they're kicking everybody's butts for about 4 or 5 years, you're eventually gonna be like, well, these superheroes, are they ever gonna win? Are they ever gonna do anything? And then all of a sudden, they have one movie where at the very end, Superman hits him and he gets a win. But it's not really, it's like a draw or something.
But then people are like, that's bullshit. He's been losing all these years. We're making him win now.
But that's the whole point. It's going to be one of those things where it's a feel good because they're like, oh, shoot, Superman finally got a hit in. He finally did something.
You trying to make
and
them
you
kids
just keep
cry.
on
That's
doing
what
it.
that is.
I,
Why you trying
either
to make
that,
the kids cry?
or you take the storyline from DC where they wipe out the DC universe almost. I forget which one it was, where pretty much everybody gets murked in the DC by Flash or something like that.
I know one thing: you better not let Spider-Man lose, or you're gonna have a whole bunch of kids want to whoop your ass. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're gonna come in with their Spider-Man. Spider-Man sleeping gear.
Hey, look at this.
That ass.
What do you think Venom is?
Huh?
Right.
What do you think Venom is?
He's he's a villain. He's a villain.
He's a villain. And guess what? The first time in the comics when Spider-Man meets Venom, Venom kicks Spider-Man's butt. Sorry to tell you, kids.
But then they set him up as an anti-hero because.
But guess that's the whole thing. You can set a character up. Loki's an anti-hero. Loki's technically an anti-hero now. You can always make a villain into an anti-hero. Okay. You can't make an anti-hero into a villain.
Okay.
Or you could. I mean, you can't make you can't make a villain into a superhero.
But you can in your grim dark theory. Yes, you can.
But no, in my grim dark theory, the superheroes are the villains, pretty much.
Okay.
They just happen to kick everybody's butt and just be like, "All right, cool.
So
what's next?"
When the little babies in Spider-Man outfits come for him, right? Just move out the way, okay? Just move out the way. Let him get his ass beat by some 5-year-olds, okay?
Hey, I'll just run away from
10-year-olds.
They're gonna whoop his ass. I ain't in that fight. I'm not in that fight.
But wait, look at this. Technically, Spider-Man already lost. If you really want to think about it, Into the Spider-Verse. What was the first thing that happened into the Spider-Verse?
Okay, the original Spider-Man
died.
Yeah, he died. And then we
already lost kids.
And we got Morales. What's his name?
Miles Morales.
Who was dope? He's a dope Spider-Man. He's a very dope, interesting new look for Spider-Man.
But here's the thing about it is they're building out their world. They're building out those characters so that way we care about the characters. So at the end of the day, it's not about the movies you put out. It's what we put invested into these characters. Okay. They're bringing Miles Morales out in the cartoons first because they know they're trying to get the little kids. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Eventually, he's going to be in the MCU or in the SMCU as a real life person because people said, oh, he's this person. Let's see him in real life. They're putting interest in these characters. Do you realize they had 5 different Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? And they wanted to see which one's going to hit, so we bring that one out in real life. Miles Morales hit, Gwen Stacy hit, and probably the one in the robot hit, or one of the other the Spider Pig hit. And best believe they will be in the MCU eventually. Maybe not tomorrow. Give it 5 or 6 years, but they will be in the MCU. And if they're not in the MCU, they'll be in the SMCU, the Sony Marvel Universe.
I think we're going over time. I do apologize. Right? I do apologize. I know we're gonna do a part 2. Then we gotta work. Okay, but I got one question. I know we gotta end this thing, right? We gotta end this thing, okay? But how about the What If series? I know y'all been watching it.
Yeah.
Did you peep it yet?
The
What If? Did you peep
the
it?
who?
What If?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God, you messed it. You messed it up. Hey, okay, audience out there, because the Charles ain't watching. I'm telling you.
Roast them.
But go ahead. It's cool. I'll check it out. If you want to talk about it, go ahead.
I was just saying. Oh, no, I can't. I don't want to mess it up because I really want you to see it. It's dope.
All right.
Okay. I'll just say this much.
This weekend.
I'll say this much. The What If series is basically what if, like, something were to happen to the stories that you know, and it's the what if. What if it didn't happen the way we thought it happened?
Like in the regular comic books.
Yeah, then they explore it. And honestly, I've been a fan of the What If series forever. I just thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
Now that they're animating it, right, and coming out, right, I love both episodes so far. That's all I'm saying. I didn't. Hey, there's no spoiler right there. I'm just saying.
I will say this.
Working for me.
I love that they're actually setting stuff up for the future. Yeah. That's the one thing I love about Marvel. Even with these What If series, they're setting stuff up for the regular MCU.
Yeah.
Because with the What If series, you just had the Loki series saying the multiverse broke. The multiverse is messed up in the MCU right now. Yeah. Now they're actually showing you how the multiverse is messed up or how the multiverse works. Yeah. They're giving you one iconic character and putting him in a whole different situation.
Yeah.
So by the time they go back to the regular MCU, everybody's gonna understand what happens when the multiverse breaks.
Sure.
They're using this what if to actually set everything up so everybody understands everything. And that's the greatest thing that Marvel's doing, is that they give you an idea. Like in Loki, they said, okay, the multiverse broke. My girl was like, okay, what do you mean the multiverse broke? I don't really get it.
So
now she's watching What If, and she's like, oh, I get it now. This is how the characters, things are different in different places. So you're flipping things around. This is how the multiverse is breaking.
So is Rick and Morty going to be part of Marvel? Because we got a lot of writers. We got a lot of writers on Rick and Morty writing Marvel stuff. Is Rick and Morty in the Marvel universe?
Rick and Morty is not in the Marvel universe, but the concepts of Rick and Morty are in the Marvel universe.
The concept, okay, but hey, I think they're trying to pull them in and being like, bump that DC stuff. But anyway, we have to end the show because I still got to edit. So, okay, so tell people, okay, final words when it comes to Marvel versus DC. So, how
final words?
Charles, you start.
No, go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
You go first, because you know me. I'm gonna destroy the DC in a minute. I'm about to destroy DC. DC ain't gonna like me. So you go ahead and start. Let me just put the fire. Let me just make sure it burns for the next 3 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Then I'm gonna let CJ break it down so if ever be broke. Okay. So Marvel. It's Marvel on minds. It's Marvel on minds. DC can't even hold a candle to them. So the floor is yours, CJ. Blow them up.
My thing is like this. DC does not plan shit out right. Marvel's been planning what they're doing for the last 10 years. They had a whole story arc where literally you saw the glimpse of the supervillain 5 years before he actually had a movie. DC, burn it down, stop what you're doing, get rid of every character that they've seen so far, and go into your vault. Because your vault is very, very, very deep with characters, supervillains, superheroes, whatever. If they've seen them on TV, if they've seen them in a movie, burn them and go to the route where you have a character that nobody knows about and build them up over the next 10 years. And maybe we'll be interested in your movies. Until then, I'm not paying for shit. And I'm glad you put it on HBO, because if it wasn't on HBO, I would have never seen it, even if this man asked me to see it. I would watch it if it's free. And guess what? Yes, I did fall asleep on it about 3 times because it sucked.
I myself may give you a hard time. But it's still characters that I really like. I really want to see. AKA Blue Beetle. Come on, y'all. Because remember
Static Shock, Blue Beetle. Look.
Remember the animated cartoon, and they discontinued, and they were about to really get into the Blue Beetle. I was like, yes, great character, right? Mexican dude. I'm like, okay, cool. I haven't seen a Mexican superhero. And plus he's dope. And his whole thing, the Beetle itself is dope. So
yeah,
that's a clue. Blue Beetle. Next. Definitely focus on that. But so anyway, just go around the room, right? I know how you feel. Everybody passionate about it. We're gonna be here for the next 2 hours. So how can people connect with you? So we're gonna go with CJ first, and then Charles, and then I'll end it. So CJ, how can people connect with you?
Me, Instagram, the Dark Anubis on Instagram.
Okay. What do you do?
Right now, I'm about to start a woodworking company. I'm making charcuterie boards, cutting boards, and outside of that, I do my normal 9 to 5, which is maintenance. I do building maintenance. So I do a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical, a little bit of everything. I'm like your little handyman.
Y'all got to see his boards. They dope. Don't sleep on them. Them boards are bomb. I wish you had one right here so we can see it.
Give me a second. I'll bring a couple down for y'all.
Okay. So Charles, how can people connect with you? Actually, how can people connect with you? And what is all these things that we're doing?
Well, we got LA Ballad of Sexes. We still got to get that back. Once the COVID kind of died down a little bit, we can get back in the swing of those things.
Okay.
We got the Urban Hiking Club. We got the Urban Wine Tasting Club. We can do that still. The winery's opening back up, and we still need to get the Poetic Soul Collective together again and do a little set for everybody, But you can find me on Neo Soul Scribe at Instagram. And, hopefully we get stuff going. Once it opens up, man, we gonna open back up.
I wouldn't mind doing like a sample of a Battle of the Sexes on this show. Just a sample. You know, really, really get into it.
Not a problem.
Definitely. So let's see the boards, CJ.
So I made this like charcuterie board right here. Got a dope thing right there. And
That's
then
nice.
I made this cutting board. So love about it that it has little handles on it. You see it. Super dope. It's a 26 by 13-inch cutting board. Great for your chickens, great for whatever big things you want to use. So I do ingrain, grain.
Cool.
That's a whole different, that'd be a whole 20-minute talk on what the difference between everything is. But I do cutting boards, charcuterie boards. Next time we come on, I'll probably have about 7 or 8 more I can show y'all.
There you go.
And I'm your host, Karima J. Spear. You can find my work at karimaspear.com, KarimaSphere.com. And tune in to the new website for the radio show, Karima Show and Tell. That's KarimaShowandTell.com. The whole word, yes. And it's a great show. So definitely, y'all, go tell somebody. Also, I want to thank Asar, Asar, right, who did the music for does the music for us. And also the next episode, y'all, episode 89. Write this down. August 26th, next Thursday. Episode 89, August 26th, and we're gonna broadcast it about 10 p.m. Anyway, Karima Show and Tell is a great show, y'all. So definitely go tell somebody. Until next time, peace. Until next time, peace.
Great show.